Hey all, good afternoon. This is me, Varun, your trainer. Welcome to another session with me on Tech Tablet. And in this video, we would be starting with amazing features of Python, or we would be talking about some amazing features of Python. Well, this video series is a part of my quarantine resolution, thinking that I would be covering as much of theory as possible, in this or during the during the peak time of the spread of coronavirus. So I would request everyone to please stay home and please take care of yourself. Yeah, so the agenda of this session would be to understand the features, check out some real-time use cases, and what are some kind of questions that are asked in and around Python, right? So without wasting time, let's just begin. Just to give you a small, quick introduction about myself, my name is Varun, and I have been working as an SAP ABAP developer, then an SAP UI5 consultant, after which I started my YouTube channel and I also rap. I have my rap videos on Hi Chora, which is Hyderabadi Chora, and I am also a data science trainer and a developer. So guys, this is all about me. I predominantly work on the R and Python languages, and I really hope that you enjoy the series and you really learn something out of it. So let us begin and let's start watching the video. So here, the first advantage that you would or that you should know about Python is Python has the most easiest code that you could read and probably understand. Now, if you compare the language of Python with other languages like probably Java or C and C++, things here are pretty different. Like uh, we all know, if we talk about any language like C probably, then we know how things work there. You would first have to probably take a variable of A, pass a number, variable of B, pass a number, then take a variable of C, then give a function or give the main logic into variable of C, that is variable of A plus variable of B, and then you would say print variable of C, and that is when you would have an output. But now here, if you want to check the addition of 3 plus 5, it is as simple as 3 plus 5, right? So guys, this way we can say that to a great extent, a language like Python has been able to make it really easy for us. And also, notwithstanding that, it is a dynamically typed language because of which it mandates indentation. Now, because of indentation, it would become really easy for us to understand as to what is a class, what is a definition, where do we start what. So this way, you can say that it has a very good UI and something which is very easy to understand. Though the UI predominantly depends on the toolkit that you're using or the IDE that you're using, but still, as a language, it makes it really beautiful. Then the second one that we have is expressive. Well, as we said, it provides us with a myriad of constructs that help us focus on solutions rather than on syntax, which means that even if you're going wrong somewhere, or even if you are probably confused somewhere on how to do it, you have a lot of constructs which help you take further. You don't have to get stuck, and you don't have to just pause it and bang your head over anything or something that you don't know. You just have to take help of these constructs or these assistive advices, and they would really do great help for you. Then the third one that we have is it is a free and an open source, guys. Now, when we say it is free and open source, we all know that Python is available for all of us. It's probably just a click away. And all that you'll have to do is go on to Google, select the required platform that you're looking for. Now, it could be Anaconda or it could be Spider. You have a lot of platforms on which you could work. But then, yeah, I would say Anaconda is the best and the most lightweight UI that I've come across. You also have Python on Spider, which does well, but here you can see that the screen is divided into four compartments, and you have a variable explorer, you have a separate screen for plots, you have one as a console, and you have one as a main script area. So yeah, this is how you have Spider which works. So I wouldn't say that is good or this is good. I kind of, it depends on the user and it depends on your comfort level. At the end of the day, when you're using Python, I think all the IDEs should be able to do the same thing. Well, then we have something called as FLOSS, which is free or liberated and open source software. So yeah, you have this, which is a part of your FLOSS Python language. These are the first three. Then you have the fourth one, which talks about high-level programming stuff as well. Well, here programmers or developers like me, like you, all of us, we do not have to actually take the the pain of remembering the system architecture, and we do not have to manage the memory either. And this, kind of gives us an edge, or kind of gives us, time saving edge, because of which we would be able to focus more on the required thing rather than focusing more on the management part of it. Now, when we talk of languages which are not free, or tools which come at a cost, you have tools like SAP, which is completely not for free, and it's got a really costly, expensive, costly licensing cost, which you'll have to incur if in case you want to work on it. But then SAP is an ERP tool, so we don't want to talk about it. But then, yeah, just to consider as an example, you have SAP. Yeah, then the next one is portable. Yes, Python is definitely portable. For example, here, as I said, if you have a Python code for Windows, and you might want to run it on any other platform, like it could be, Linux, or it could be Unix, or it could be your Apple MacBook. Well, any of these places, you don't have to change your code into, the operating system's language and then put it up. It's already up and running. All that you'll have to do is just pass the code onto the system and open it up and have fun. Yeah. Then the third one is it is interpreted. Third one on this page, well, sixth one in total. The sixth one is it is interpreted. Now, what do we mean by interpreted? Here, we have an interpreter which executes the code line by line, step by step, right? Because of which debugging actually becomes very, very easy for us, and thus it becomes very suitable for beginners, right? And the source code of Python here is converted into something called as bytecode, because of which the system is actually able to execute things easily and probably faster also, right? So these are the six things that you need to know. Now, the seventh one is it is object oriented. Now, when we say it is object oriented, well, we have a lot of features which are within object oriented, like you have encapsulation, just to name one. And features like this, which we use in object oriented, make it really a high level language. Well, you saw high level here, but then I think the same can be used as, the same can be used when you said an object oriented language, or probably it has procedure oriented language too, which is the best part about this language, right? You have encapsulation, polymorphism, just to name a couple. Then you have, as you know, it has the most vast library that probably any language has, if you ask me. Well, it has a rich standard library, which means that you can just focus on the logical part and not focus on the formula or the mathematical, or the unnecessary part. Now, why is that? Because you have libraries for everything. Let us say you would want to work on probably time series analysis, or you would want to work on linear regression. You have libraries. All that you'll have to do is use the right library, put in your variables, or declare your variables, which are x and y and whatever parameters you want, and you can see that the system is already doing its job for you, right, guys? So that is how it works. And then you have the best integration possible when we talk about Python. Now, Python can be integrated, into any other language, or it could be C, it could be C++. And as we all know, because this is an extensible language, it can be extended to, not all others, but yes, it can be extended to as many languages as possible. And I think Python has the greatest integration base also. So these are the first nine. Now we'll go to the 10th one, which is GUI programming. We have graphical user interface, tkinter, which has a TK interface. Then you have WX Python, you have JPython. All these are used to create beautiful interfaces, right? And these toolkits, they allow us to make easy and fast development of GUIs. So you can just, it's as good as, drag and drop, though there is Python running behind it. tkinter, WX Python, they really make it easy. They really make it easier for a developer to come up with beautiful and interactive websites or interfaces, right? Then you have dynamically typed libraries. Well, if you know, or when you're typing something and when you are kind of stuck, or this is again something that we discussed here. It is interpreted, it is portable, it is expressive. All these almost boil down to the same thing. But then when we talk about dynamically typed libraries, Here, it means the type for a variable is decided at the runtime and not in advance. Like for example, when you're using a number, your system is not pre-deciding that it is this variant. It could be a float, it could be int, it could be double, it could be, whatever. Your system leaves that for you to decide. And it is embeddable. Now, again, embeddable here and integrated here, they are almost at a parallel, but then I want you to understand the difference here is it allows you to integrate scripting capabilities into your program. And when you talk about this here, you're trying to extend this into another program. So when you're like, pushing your language into another, it becomes kind of integrated. And when you are kind of getting something onto yours, it becomes embeddable, right, guys? So there's a difference, and there's the difference that I would want you to understand about, right? And when we talk about the use cases, well, I just don't want to kind of restrict your thought process, but then these are just a few. You have retail banking for data transformation manipulation, you have aerospace, you have finance, you have business services, you have gaming, you have threat detection, you have spam. I mean, you just name it. And I'd say if there is a computer involved and if there is any logical computing that's happening, Python can make its space into it. And here we have some basic questions that you might come up with when you go into an interview. Mention at least 3 to 4 benefits of using Python. Well, we all know that application development is faster and easy. It has an excellent support community. It's got great number of libraries. Then does your Python allow you to program in structured language? Well, hell yes, that's a definite yes, guys. Please not say no by mistake. Then the third one is which databases are supported by Python? Well, you can name a lot, but here are a couple. You have MySQL, which is structured. I think you all know the abbreviation SQL is structured query language. Because when I was a fresher, just a fresher, and I was asked, by someone, it was not in an interview, but when I was asked about the you know how SQL or the abbreviation of SQL, just by some random person, I had no answer to it because I never kind of was serious about SQL. So guys, SQL is structured query language, and then you have MongoDB, which is unstructured. So you have these kind of prominent databases which Python can definitely support. Then how can you create a GUI based application? Well, as we just discussed here in the point above, you have GUI programming like tkinter, WX Python, JPython. That's the same answer here, guys. Along with standard libraries like tkinter, it can be used to create a great GUI based application, right? Then what tools can be used to test your Python code? Well, you have something called as the unit test, which is a standard library to test any classes. And this library or this feature, it is kind of supported, and you have the other testing tools also like JUnit, you have TestNG, you have a lot of them. So yeah, testing is definitely not a problem, well, as long as Python is concerned. So I really hope you have understood what are the advantages of Python, guys, how it works, or what is the actual use of it and where all it can be used. In the upcoming video, we will be discussing something more related to data science and the languages, like you have Scala, you have Spark, you have Apache, Apache Scala, or you have SAS, you have Tableau. There are a lot of languages which you will be discussing, and a lot of concepts which you will be covering. Well, this is the first to begin with. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned. This is me, Varun, your trainer. Have a great day, and thanks a lot.